Have you ever wanted to create your own product? Something that was your baby, like design the product, know what you put into the product, or whether it's ingredients or material, if it's some other type of product, and you put all that together and then you can go through and sell it. Well, I've created 3 products. I'm going to tell you exactly how I went through and did that, and some awesome takeaways that you can utilize to create your own product. So, with that being said, if this is your first time here, what's good? It is Sam here, and for those of you who are returning, it's good to freaking see you. So, I've outlined 3 steps or 3 fundamental things here that I went through, and the process that I went through them to better give you an idea of if it makes sense to go through this process in the same way I went through it, or maybe you're like, well, I definitely know to not do that because it fucked up, right? As he was going through it. So those steps are, what is the product or thing or fucking widget, and how to decide, and I'll talk you through how I went through and made that decision. How to make it, or how to acquire the inventory, how to do that. And then I've got a couple examples of, I've been trying to do this type of thing for quite a while, so hopefully that is going to be some valuable experience that I can share and you get some good takeaways there. And then where or how are you going to sell it? Like, you get this inventory, you create this product, and then what? Then you got to fucking get rid of it as quickly as possible. Right, so I'm going to talk you through on what exactly how I'm going through and selling that, where I'm going through and selling that. So let's dive right into what product. So for this, I want to talk about what you love, because for myself, that is exactly how I decided, and there's many other ways that you could decide on which product might be the best thing to pick. But for myself, I was like, well, I don't know if anybody's going to purchase this. I don't know if anybody's going to be fucking interested in this. I'm not sure how I'm going to sell this. I'm not sure where I'm going to do any of that kind of stuff. But I think a product that would be kind of interesting for me. So this product was also, so the first product that I went through and actually created was in conjunction. Step 1 and step 2 kind of were like happening at the same time, so you don't have to think of them in chronological order. It's just these are the things that you need to figure out. They don't have to be like, oh, you have to do all of step 1 and then all of step 2 and then all of step 3. Like, all of these 3 things could potentially be done simultaneously, right? So as I'm going through, I was like, well, what is something that I personally enjoy that I would use, whether somebody bought it or not bought it, or didn't buy it? Because that way, I'll just have a fucking 5-year supply of shit to use if nobody wants it, right? So then, after picking that, so there's something, if you go to shop.letstalkpeds, so that's shop.letstalkpeds with an SPEDS.com, you can see what the products are. I'll be adding new ones in the month of February. But go through and create something that I would personally use, and then if nobody else wants to fucking use it, I've just got a several year supply. That's how I went through that process. So given that was the framework I went through, and there's many different ways to do this. There's not a right way and a wrong way to decide on which product, right? What is something that you personally use or enjoy or love that you would be okay with buying 2-4 years worth of it up front if nobody fucking bought it from you, right? What is that for you? Is it something? For me, it's a supplement, right? But for maybe you, it's a piece of clothing. Maybe it's makeup. If you're like, I'm thinking about my girlfriend or something. Maybe it's I don't know. I don't buy a lot of fucking shit, so maybe it's steaks. I don't know. Maybe it's some type of branded food product. Maybe it's a widget of some sort. Whatever that thing is, what is something that you personally could use in your life that you would be okay with acquiring a several year supply of that? That was the thought process that I went through. And then at the same time, I'm thinking about how to get this made. Like, how do I get this? And for that, I've already had a little bit of experience in terms of, after I finished grad school, I wanted to do my own thing. I did not want to take a job that I didn't want. So I started an eBay store, and then I rolled it into 2 eBay stores and 3, and I eventually got up to 6 eBay stores that I was selling inventory through. And the inventory I would get, I would just go to thrift shops and buy designer shit for cheap, and then I'd turn it around and clean it up if need be, and I'd resell it online, right? I think there's a lot more people doing that. This was back in 2011. Way before like a lot of people are doing that shit today. And I had an inventory set up in the basement with a shipping place at my apartment, and I would sell through that. So I was like, well, this way of acquiring inventory is not super scalable, right? In the sense where if I'm going from, say, 1,000 pieces of something per month, or say 10 pieces, right? You're selling 10 pieces of something per month, like, because that's where it's basic, right? You're just starting out, and you're selling 10 pieces of something per month. How do I get to 20? Well, that's not hard. But once you get to 1,000, how are you going to get to 1,000 new pieces? So I wasn't thinking of it as being something that was super scalable. And then eBay shut me down. I couldn't do it. It was just selling clothing, but they didn't want me to have 6 accounts, I guess, and skirting their rules so that I could list more products. And then in 2020, another way that I was getting inventory to flip is through the internet, in terms of Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, or apps like LetGo, or Nextdoor is another app here in the United States. And people list shit for free that has value in it. So in maybe April of 2020, I made like $6 grand with my buddy. He had a truck, I just had a Tesla, so I couldn't really pick up a lot of inventory. And we made around $3,500 each. It was over $6 grand, because there was some other shit. And you can go through and just find shit for free and turn around and sell it. Or another thing is, like that went through that process, I was like, well, this is super easy to do, it's fun, but it's not extremely scalable. Like, I can pay all my bills easy, but it's not what I want to create in terms of building a product or a business of some sort. And so I had already had experience trying to figure out how to get products, right? Like, and it's easy to get secondhand products, but how do you get like a manufacturer to make your shit? And if you're watching this on YouTube or on Instagram, I'm big into fitness, and I know a lot of people through the internet who are in the fitness industry, who have their own brand, have their own products, have their own clothing line, etc., etc. And so building this out, just because it was something that was fun and interesting to me, allows me to talk to a lot of successful business people in the fitness niche. And I can utilize that. So that is exactly how I got the contact to a manufacturer. So whatever that, and that's how I manifested it into the shop.letstalkpeds.com, into building out, a different supplement brand or whatever the case is. So you can think about that process that I went through in terms of what is something that you pay attention to. Maybe it's politics, maybe it's food, maybe it's restaurants, maybe it's travel, maybe it's clothing, maybe it's makeup or hair or whatever. What is something that you're interested in, that you pay attention to, that you talk to your friends about? That was fitness for me. I'm interested in fitness. I have always been interested in fitness. It's something that I do in my personal life. It's something that I talk to people about. And that allowed me to have a natural network to be able to just ask questions of people. And that is how I was able to get a contact. If you can't think of that industry for yourself, like, and they're not aligned, right? Because in the first part's, well, something that I could potentially, get a 1.5 year supply, but that doesn't necessarily align with what I talk about all the time. Maybe it's a hair product, and what you naturally align with is like talking about clothing, you can still, there's a lot of crossover there. Just start talking to the people you talk to about clothing and whatnot. But this is the idea, you want to do some type of hair product. And if this is a valuable network, which every network is, just there's different amounts of value, they will start telling you people or things to check out and reach out to people perpetually. If you went through the process of, hey, this is what I want to create, and you're going through the process of reaching out to the network, the next is reaching out to new people you don't know. So if you're doing 20 people a day, I'm reaching out to more than 20 people per day, by the way. If you're reaching out to 20 people per day, in terms of outreach and just sending them a fucking message, then as time goes on, after 10 days, you've reached out to 200 people. If you get one person to respond to you, cool. That's 10 days and you got a new person in your network. And then you do another 210 days, right? And you got another person and somebody from that first portion, right? Because not everybody gets on social maybe as much as you or I do. I get on social a lot, right? So I'm understanding what's going on. I'm checking messages. Not everybody does that. So 2 or 3 of the first 200 that you reached out to also have gotten back to you, and another 1 or 2 from the next 200 gotten back to you, and it's only been 20 days in, and you just have somewhere between 2 to 3 to like 6, 7 different people in your network that you can talk to. And how can you provide value to them? How could you help them out? And it's super easy. And you can just ask questions too, but the process of you just showing up every day and asking is what's going to allow you to reach whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're just like asking them questions. People want to help people. Maybe it's not on Instagram, maybe it's on LinkedIn. Think about like whatever it is that you're trying to do and whatever is more native to you, right? Like if it was something really specific to real estate or something related to business, and I had more of a understanding or spent more time on LinkedIn, then maybe LinkedIn would be the better platform to reach out to 20 people per day. But when you think about fitness on Instagram is effectively like the magazines, right? It's like the digital fucking magazine of 2021. And so that is how I do that. Created the product. I was not aware of how long it takes to get a product made. Creating a label, I just created it for free the first time, and then after you do this the first time, then go through and optimizing it. It doesn't matter what it looks like or anything like that. Just do it the first time. Just like if you're a real estate investor, go through and get that first investment property, because that first investment property gives you the confidence to be able to do that second investment property from all the shit you learned in that first investment property. Same exact thing. Create that first round or batch or product, whatever it is, and then go through this and figure out what that product is, how to get it made, and then where or how to sell it. So I have 3 different kind of pathways you can think of to sell this. So the first is I do that. And you're like, well, how can I go through and sell this thing? I gotta create a website. How do I do that? Right? I gotta set up a website. I don't know how to do that. But then also, how do I set it up so I can take payments through there? And then you have to set up like a merchant account. And how do I do what? I just can't do that. And they give up, right? But I'm sure that you probably have a Venmo account or a Cash App account or a PayPal account. And I'm sure that you probably have several people in your network if you're doing something that you enjoy, right? I did something in fitness. So people in my network are people that I talk to about fucking fitness. So those people, there are some percentage of them that are interesting. And you don't have to be like the network marketing people who are just spamming people, right? Which is fine, and that's just my perception of it, right? But they probably believe in whatever it is that they're doing as well. And you're just sharing what you're doing through that process, and several people might be interested in that. And then you've got Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal, and you just fucking sell them it, right? And they will send you the money, and then you either give it to them or you ship it to them. How do you ship it? Well, it's pretty fucking simple. I'm sure you know what a post office is, right? And then, so I'm selling those, right? And I just got that website up at shopletstalkpeds.com. The next is wholesaling. So that is, you've probably heard of wholesaling, whether it is like in the online world or it is in the real estate world, where you're basically that middleman type of thing, in terms of you're taking that product and you're selling it to somebody else who then sells it to the marketplace. Where in the digital world, right, you're buying from China and then you're taking it here in the United States and then you're selling it to the end user, except for being the actual creator of the product. It's like you are China selling it to another business that ends up selling it to the customer. So this I have one wholesale customer currently, and the benefit of that is that you can get rid of inventory faster, right? So if you want to go buy a product, you buy one product and that's all, right? It's just one thing. But if you are wholesaling and you sell 10 or 20 or 40 products at a time, then you get rid of that many more products all at once, which is amazing, especially for me when I'm starting out, or probably for you if you're watching this video and you're in this far, you're like, how do I get rid of 50 or 100 products, right? Well, even if you're selling it like basically of a loss, which you don't have to do, but you can basically sell it at what you got it at plus a little bit if you want to, just to get rid of it. But hopefully within the next 2 weeks, I should have 2 additional wholesale accounts. And I did find one store so far, a physical store, the supplement store, that is going to be carrying my product. So this way I can move inventory faster, right? Because the faster you can move inventory, the quicker you can, basically money is attracted to activity, right? So the more activity you can create, the more, or like action you can create, the faster money comes, kind of thing. So that is option number 2, right? So I sell through wholesaler, and then the third is affiliates. So affiliates, if you go on Instagram and you click on the link in my bio, you'll see an example of what affiliates are. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you go to the description, right? And there'll be a link there that will be an affiliate link for different types of research products. And when somebody goes through and clicks on that and uses the discount code, then I get something on that. It's basically like you can think of it like a straight 100% commission salesperson, right? Now, the benefit of that is that they don't have to, the person doesn't have to actually buy any inventory. They don't have to do anything. And when it works best is when it's truly aligned with what that person believes, right? So you might have to do a bunch of outreach to really be able to connect, where it's like, yes, this is aligned with what I want. I don't want to create a business. I don't want to create a brand. I would like to be a part of something that I believe in, but I don't want all the headache of all the customers and all that kind of shit, right? That is an ideal alignment with the affiliate, because then you guys can come together and create something much bigger. So those are the 3 ways here. We've got what is the product, right? I like to go after something that I love. This is the 3rd product. How to make it, or how to get inventory, or whatever it is, right? And there's many different ways to go through and do this. I will continue to share my experience as I build this going forward. So make sure you press that follow button if you're watching on Instagram, or the subscribe button if you're on YouTube. And then how to fucking sell it, right? I'm sure you know several people who might be interested in buy it, even if you're not familiar with that. And if you're questioning yourself, you're like, I don't want to talk to my friends, then do you really want to create a business? It's an honest question. If I'm like, oh, I'm sure you have people in your network that you could sell it to, and the first thought to your mind is, oh, I can't talk to people in my network. I don't want to be that salesy person. I don't want to be that scammy person. Then do you really want to create a business around a product or products or a brand? Probably not, if that's the first thing that comes to mind. Or you've got a lot of changing to do up here, and different types of development to do up here, because that's where it's going to start in terms of you doing what you need to do here to be able to create what you want in the physical world. Appreciate you guys. Peace.